Oh, hey, yeah, come on in. No, no, no. Have a seat. How can I help you? Okay, you're here to buy a deck for your boss. I don't hear that, very often, but you're trying to get a promotion at work. Hey, I I don't blame you. All right, do what you got to do. Okay, so yeah, I think this is gonna be great. I think I can help you out for sure. This is what I do best. So we're gonna do something that is sure to impress your boss and get you that promotion as quick as possible. I can assure you. So first, I'm just gonna ask you a few questions about who you are purchasing the deck for. That'll give me kind of an idea. Or do you already have a list of cards that you're looking for? Okay, you don't? Not yet? Perfect. I love a blank slate. So, what kind of person is your boss? Okay, strong-willed, powerful, excellent. My classic boss material. What are their likes, interests? Okay, they really like Team Rocket. All right. Well, as you can see, we have a lot of Team Rocket sets now. Is there a particular era? Classic era. Okay, definitely. Oh, that is not a problem. Trust me. Okay, they really like Team Rocket. Okay, so do you want to stay in the Team Rocket set and just go from there? I mean, you can't go wrong if they're a big Team Rocket fan. All right, excellent. Yeah. Okay, so what are a few of his favorite Pokemon? All right, any Team Rocket Pokemon. Okay, really, they're really into Team Rocket, huh? Okay. What about what are his thoughts on wheezing? The classic Team Rocket Pokemon, am I right? I mean, it's you see it all the time, hand in hand. Big fan of wheezing. Okay, all right. That's what I love to hear. Okay, and what is your relationship with your boss? Are you really close? Okay, so you're a bit of a grunt in the company. I mean, hey, I mean I wouldn't call you that, but if that's the lingo you guys use, no problem. Okay, well, let me go grab some cards. I'll start with a full list. I'm gonna build it around dark wheezing, and I'm gonna bring you what I've come up with and let you kind of pick through and make adjustments as you want. And remember, tailor this exactly how you want it, and I'm sure your boss is going to love it. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, I have a beautiful set, and as you can see, a large set here. Now, as you are more than aware, I'm sure, a normal deck of Pokemon cards for the TCG game is 60 cards. I like to throw in a couple extra cards for first time or even loyal customers. So there are going to be a few more than 60. That allows you to mix and match, and more important, it allows your boss, the recipient of this deck, to mix and match and take out cards and change it depending on what his particular mood is that day. So I'm going to start off with our beautiful, beautiful dark wheezing there. And as you can see, what a really unique card. If you are unaware, the Dark Team Rocket set, they specialize in high attack, low HP Pokemon. So for a fully evolved Pokemon, it is quite rare to see a 60 HP total there. But as you can see, we have both attacks do at least 20 damage for the second and a 20 times ability on the first. So they generally have a higher damage potential, but a little bit more glass cannon type of attack. So obviously you and he are aware of this, or you wouldn't have requested Team Rocket themed cards. So as you can see too, what's really interesting about this wheezing is how large the wheezing is in the portrait. Really limited area for the holofoil, so a very subtle holofoil it is. But I believe the darkness surrounding it not only emulates the smog that generally comes from a Weezing, but really kind of lends itself to that dark kind of sub-name there. Don't you agree? Okay, is this a great Pokemon to build around? Excellent. I love the enthusiasm. So I have included 2 Weezing cards, one holo and one non-holo, as you can see there. So this will be the basis of our deck here. I will get those placed to the side here for you. All right, next up, as you can probably guess, Coughing, Team Rocket, of course. And as you can see, we have a nice tackle for 10 damage and a poison gas ability where you can flip a coin, and if heads, the defending Pokemon is now poisoned. So a nice preview of how this deck is going to work. It is going to be based on either quick damage or that 9 poison damage that I think really works with the dark Pokemon. What's more dark than a nice poison effect? So we have 4 Coughing in the deck. Your typical number 4, your general basic Pokemon. Next, I went a little different than our grass typing here. I went for what I think you'll really enjoy here, and hopefully, more importantly, your boss enjoys, is a nice dark Team Rocket Eevee. Yes, really great artwork on that card. Most people really enjoy Eevee. It's a very, very popular card, so I don't think you can really go wrong with it. I like to slip that in there for people who buy these decks as gifts, just because it's such an appealing Pokemon. So we threw that in there, and I do have, of course, 3 of those Eevee to get you a nice head start on a basic Pokemon. We want to give you a lot of options, especially another gift deck. You want this to be really easy to play out of the box. You don't want a really high strategy deck for someone who is getting this as a gift, because you want them to really be able to enjoy it day one. Next up, to go with that Eevee, I went ahead and selected a Dark Vaporeon. I like this card because of the danger yet elegant nature of Vaporeon. So I think it's hard to go wrong, and the artwork is just so fantastic on this. Once again, we want to kind of really harass the other team there in their bench. So the Whirlpool ability, as you can see there, on top of that 30 damage bite, is really quite the punch there. But on your Whirlpool, you see the defending Pokemon has any energy or cards attached to it. You can choose one and discard it. So not only can you apply some poison with your Coughing and Wheezing, but you can actually get rid of some energy from your Eevee via your Vaporeon, if you are so fortunate to be able to draw. So next up here, we went slightly different, but I wanted to give you a base set 2 variation. Now, stay with me. I went ahead and gave you Squirtle. You'll see where this is going, but I chose this from the base set 2 just because we had more of these in stock, and the end goal is quite literally your rocket variation. So we will start with the Squirtle, but we will make our way quite swiftly to the rocket era cards, starting with War Turtle. So your Dark War Turtle here is quite a magnificent card. As you can see, it kind of defiantly is sitting on this log type structure in the water. A really fantastic card, and the artwork is that real unique dark, Team Rocket artwork, and it leads directly into our powerhouse, Dark Blastoise. Now, I like to always include a few non-holo rares to go along with your primary holo in the deck, just because it gives you a little bit more of a punch that perhaps the opponent may not see coming, just based solely on the fact that they expect you to go for the poison grass type, so we throw a little curveball in there. I think your boss is really going to enjoy this Dark Blastoise. He's a fan of powerful Pokemon. Excellent. Well, it doesn't get more powerful and mainstream than a Blastoise, and a dark one at that. If he's a fan of the Team Rocket, cards in general, I think he's really, really going to enjoy that. And hopefully be quite impressed with your intuition on what cards that you selected. Because, of course, you're not going to tell him that I selected these cards. You're going to tell him you selected these cards and let the bountiful reward fall right in your lap. Exactly. So, next up, I have the next in line. I have the Team Rocket Oddish. This Team Rocket Oddish is a really great Team Rocket card. It has a sleep powder and a poison powder. No damage outright, but a really tactical card that sets up nicely for an incoming powerhouse attack, such as your Vaporeon's Bite, or even your Poison Gas attack from coughing. And to go along and pair nicely with that Oddish, we have none other. And what about that artwork? That Dark Gloom. Just an absolute fantastic, fantastic card. And once again, doubling down on the poison status effects. This deck is going to be very tricky to deal with. So if your boss likes to maybe be a little subtle but ruthless in his approach, I think this is going to be great. And if you're a fan, or your boss is a fan of very vibrant holofoils, look no further than Dark Vileplume. This holofoil is just absolutely spectacular. Compared to the Dark Wheezing with its subtle kind of approach and nuanced pattern, this is completely the opposite. Now, still very dark in its kind of pose and coloring, really going for more of a black body on that Vileplume rather than its typical purple. It really lets you know this is not your typical Vileplume. This is the ruthless Team Rocket's Dark Vileplume. And as you can see, its Pokemon power is Hay Fever. It says no trainer cards can be played. This power is working while this power stops working while Dark Vileplume is affected by a status condition. So not only can you poison with multiple Pokemon, you can get rid of energy with your Dark Vaporeon rather, but you can stop the opponent from using trainer cards, which is a huge, huge ability with your Dark Vileplume. Quite the tactful deck. So next up we have your Team Rocket's Zubat. We have just a nice, quick damaging basic with outright damage with no pomp or frill. We have Ram for 10 and Bite for 20. Once again, built around that grass type. And to go nicely with your Dark Zubat, we have a Dark Golbat. We have a nice, more roundabout card here. That Pokemon power you see right there, Sneak Attack. It says when you play Dark Golbat from your hand, you may choose one of your opponent's Pokemon. If you do, Dark Golbat does 10 to that Pokemon. So you can really pinpoint a Pokemon with a weakness or perhaps a large amount of damage counters that has retreated to the bench. You can still snipe that Pokemon from afar with Dark Golbat, which is nice and quite dark if you ask me. Next up we have, and I really wanted to include this just to once again give you a slight change up in style and a couple other options. We have just a nice simple Tangela from base set 2. I wanted to give you a little bit more of a powerful basic Pokemon in case perhaps you are having a hard time getting your stage 1 or 2 Pokemon out. This Tangela will allow you to hit 20 with Bind in an attempt to paralyze the defending Pokemon. Once again, those status effects being so pesky. And your Poison Powder to allow poison nonetheless. So I think that pairs quite nicely with this deck. And I went ahead and added 3 of those Tangela. So last but not least for your Pokemon, I went ahead and gave you 3 base set 2 Weedle. This Weedle, once again, Poison Sting. If you flip heads on top of the 10 damage, poisoned. So you can imagine 3 of those Weedle there. You can imagine playing this deck could be quite the headache, playing against it rather, and really could, I think, bring out that Team Rocket vibe and allow someone who's such a fan as your boss to really feel as though they are actually part of Team Rocket due to just the kind of dark and ruthless nature of this deck and how it plays. So you have your 2 hollow foils and your 1 rare non-hoil, or I'm sorry, your 2 non-hollow rares. So are these Pokemon satisfactory to you? Do you need anything added or taken out before I get to the trainers and energy cards? No? Excellent. Okay, I'm so happy to hear that. So let's go ahead and get to your trainers, and I'll move through these just a slight bit quicker. So we have full heal to get rid of status effects if you are so unfortunate to run upon them yourself. We have some super potions for quick healing in a moment of time. We have the boss's way. Now I think this is quite the fun little treat for your boss. Since it is a gift for a boss himself, I think he will quite enjoy a card called the Boss's Way. It has the nice Team Rocket boss Giovanni, his kind of mysterious portrait there. And with the title The Boss's Way, I think your boss will really be able to perhaps see himself in this card and really, once again, sink into the experience of being a real member of Team Rocket. Can you imagine? So I think he would really enjoy that. We have a nice traditional potion and a gust of wind if you need to perhaps push one of your pesky opponent Pokemon off of the mat, and a great looking imposter, Professor Oak. This card allows you to discard from your hand in order to play, and your opponent shuffles his or her hand into their deck and draws 4 cards. You would want to play this if your opponent has a large hand and you're afraid maybe they have a powerful stage 1 or 2, and you want to have them get rid of that hand and draw a more random 4-card hand. So a nice trickster card. We have your water energy cards for your 2 water variants there, and your larger supply for your larger amount of grass type Pokemon. So these are the cards that would come in the deck made specifically for your boss. Is this all right? Okay, perfect. So I'm now going to show you all the peripherals that you can add to this deck and let you hand choose and hand pick what you send to your boss. So I will start with, I like to start next with the card sleeves to allow you to really customize the protection that your cards get, unless you would like them sleeveless. Okay, card sleeves, excellent choice. So one thing that's, if your boss likes the, nefarious different organizations in the Pokemon world, perhaps he would really enjoy this nice Team Plasma set of card sleeves. Only Team Rocket. Okay, only Team Rocket. All right, so I'm assuming he would not be interested in the Team Plasma. Okay, no other teams but Team Rocket. I read you loud and clear. Okay, so with a dark Pokemon deck, would you perhaps like a dark theme on your sleeves as well? I have a wonderful black in stock. Excellent, okay. We have this nice black set of sleeves. As you can see, we have a nice texture on that sleeve right there. And this is so that whenever you pick a card up from the deck, it has a nice grip, and it, on the other side, not to worry, has a clear covering, so that the great artwork on your cards, especially that wonderful dark Vileplume, really shines through here. Is this type of card sleeve something that you think your boss would enjoy? Okay, excellent. So I will send these card sleeves with you. Would you like them sleeved here, or would you like them put in the bag and allowed your boss to sleeve them himself? Well, I guess let me ask you this. Is he more of a do-it-himself, start his own path type, or does he like to kick back and allow others to serve him? He's a bit of a entrepreneur. Okay, I think perhaps he would enjoy the ability to feel the texture of the cards before they sleeve and sleeve them at his own pace. You think so? Okay, excellent. I will go ahead and sleeve one though, so that he has a nice example and we protect the two hollow foils. So simply separate the sleeve slightly, put your corner nice and easy, and we're just gonna tap that card in. A gentle push, and as you can see, we have a nice sleeved and protected card. Just like that. And I told you those perfectly preserve your hollow foil. So like I said, am going to go ahead and sleeve both hollow foils just for safe travel. We want to make sure all of our hollow foils are nice and taken care of. Once again, that dark wheezing. What a card. Okay, you are really on your way to a nice collection. So we will now choose damage counters for the game. Not that your cards will be taking much damage in the games with this type of firepower, but just to be safe, I have several options for you. So we have more of the classical options. We have vintage physical peripherals with a set of 10 damage counters. With this low HP, this type of low damage counter type will usually suffice, or you can go with a slightly more modernized with the inclusion of two 50s and your two status markers. These are both made of a nice cardboard and will hold up, but may I warn you, may take repeated use may take some wear and tear. So we have both of those options, or we have more of our luxury damage counters in the form of different sided dice. These dice, I have many colors in stock. These will last a lifetime and can be played with a larger variety of decks, both modern and classical, due to the high numbers on these dice. As you can see, this dice goes all the way up to 20, which in the Pokemon TCG world would signify 200 damage. So quite high for even the most modern decks. So which of those three damage counter types would you think your boss would prefer? Luxury, excellent. I thought so, but I never want to pry too much, so I will take you through our different colors. First, we have a nice royal blue. This perhaps would pair nicely with your water types in the deck. And once again, all of these packages have the exact same dice, and there are enough included to play even the most robust deck. We have a nice fuchsia style pink, perhaps perfect for your poison type Pokemon, and I do say matches the color on your Vaporeon, the wings on the Golbat, and your coughing. We have a more deep purple. Now this purple maybe will pair a little bit better with your Wheezing or some of the colors on your Zubat or Squirtle cards, but not as close of a match. We have a little bit of a turquoise blue. Once again, matches some of the colors in your Squirtle and Wartortle line. All of the dice either have white or gold numbering. We have a nice lime green. This obviously is a great match for your grass type cards and is, really a nice pairing due to the yellow on the numbers. So that is a very tempting option. We have a bit of a orange or burnt red. This, while might not match many of your cards other than Vileplume perhaps, it does kind of match that Team Rocket kind of mystique with that color. So an interesting choice there. And last but not least, we have a nice striking charcoal black. This obviously, in the name itself, kind of matches your dark tones. Perhaps just even your card sleeves. So those are our options for our dice. Are there any that stand out that you would consider a great match for not just the deck, but your boss's personality and taste? You would like to go with the black. Excellent. I think that is a wise choice. I now have kind of a idea of how this deck is going to come together. It's going to be that dark, striking deck that not only strikes a pleasing feeling into the heart of its user, but fear into the opponent. So we have our nice damage counters. That already looks wonderful. Now, since we went for the more modern damage counters, may I suggest the more modern and luxury status condition symbols as well? Excellent, excellent. We have a beautiful acrylic, poison, and generalized damage. While there is no burn in the card game, this also works for sleep, paralysis, confusion, anything like that. And as you can hear, this has a really wonderful acrylic coating for very hardy wear. Okay, and last but not least, I believe, before we get to your deck box, that is your coin. I have several options. You have made it clear, no Team Plasma. I have two great options that I think fit the Team Rocket mystique here. I have a nice hollow foil Mewtwo coin and a nice, a nice more vintage hollow foil Meowth coin, complete with the scratches known to any Meowth owner. Your boss has a Persian as their right-hand pet. I think we know our answer. Meowth it is. You are in absolute luck today, because this may just end up being the absolute best gift your boss has ever received. I'm going to go ahead and slip this in a nice protective packaging and get that placed there. This is coming together nicely. Okay, now we have some luxury boxes, or we have our more traditional boxes like these here, a little bit more travel friendly, or we have more cardboard vintage style deck boxes. What do you think your boss would perform? Okay, the travel friendly. Okay, he would like to stay a little bit under the radar. Okay, so all right, not a problem. I have many colors. We can go black on black. We have purples, blues, green. Excellent. I think that is a absolute wonderful choice due to the fact that you have chosen black to go with the dark theme, and now you can tie it all together with the green. So, and this gives you a nice preview just by looking at the box of what type of deck this is built on, and poison in this instance. So, is everything coming together nicely for you? This is the full array of what you will receive when you take this to the front and check out and on your way to your boss and his wonderful gift, no doubt. Okay, perfect. I am so glad you like it, and I just know that promotion is coming your way. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to get everything packaged up for you here nice and delicately so that we do not damage any of these wonderful cards. So we will start with the boring stuff at the bottom, your energy and trainers. We will then go from our least powerful and rare cards to the most powerful and rare. That way, when your boss opens this deck box, he is greeted with the absolute best that this deck has to offer. And we'll waste no time in praising your gumption and intuition. So, once again, I will leave these card sleeves on these cards. That way, you have them nice and protected. And the star of the show, Dark Wheezing, will be right there on top to greet the player. As you can see, we have a nice full deck. So we will place these cards inside. The nice thing is your card sleeves can slide directly in behind with just enough room for your status symbols, your coin. So now we have our deck box, our damage counters, and we will have a nice gift bag to take everything nice and neat to the lucky recipient of such a deck. Nice and gently inside the bag. Perfect. Okay, so I do say that you have constructed the absolute perfect deck for your boss, judging by the information you've given me on him. And I think that you will be a star employee in no time and a grunt no more. So I thank you so much for stopping in today, and I think you have really won the day. So you can take this to the front. They will get everything rung up, and I would not waste any time getting this gift to your boss because I think it's going to be special. So thank you so much for coming in, and I hope you have an absolute fantastic evening. Thank you so much.